And welcome back here to Bristol Motor Speedway for race technically number 3 of the 2022 season with the Dirt Car Esports Street Stock Series and prelim race number 1, I should say. After this feature, we're going to have a second prelim run. But in this one, the top 12 in the finishing order will move on to the finale, which pays $100 to the winner. Now, let's take a look at the lineup here for this first prelim. We've got the number 71 of Daniel Stifler on the pole, the driver out of Everett, Pennsylvania. iRacing, iFlag, Evil One Graphics, Papa Mike Promotions, number 71. Outside of him is the number 8. That'll be Cameron Campbell out of Ridgely, West Virginia. He's sponsored by Daddy's Money. Current point standings with this Dirt Car Esports Street Stock Tour. We've got Billy Northcutt at the top of the point standings by 21 over Adam Carlisle. Kyle Jarrett in 3rd, Tyler Jackson 4th, and Johnny Ratley is in 5th. So far, races have been won by Adam Carlisle and Drew Hopkins. Here we go, green flag back in the air. Stifler has the lead into turn number 1. Remember, it doesn't really matter if you win, run 5th, run 10th, run 12th in this race, because everybody in the finale will qualify again. So you just want to be in the top 12. Behind them, 3 wide for the 6th position. Look at Jacob Hayes way up on the top of the racetrack. Oh, Cadell get together. They're going to hang on to it down the front straightaway. Close call between the yellow 64 and the white, blue, and orange 55 as they work off of turn number 2, 3 wide. Cadell in the middle. Catellus gets a shot in the shorts on the top side from Jacob Hayes, who rides the wall in turn 3. Turns it down the hill, tries to go 4 wide down the front straightaway. They're going to wreck. Oh no, big wreck on the front stretch upside down is Hayes, and he is barrel rolling along with another car. And that was a huge incident there. Taking out a ton of drivers inside of the transfer spots. And if your name is Mike Warren and you missed that, Warren might be in a good spot here. There's a lot of guys. Back to green here at Bristol, down into turn number 1. The 8 car of Cam Campbell with the race lead. Stifler 2nd, 3 wide for 3rd. Urban on the top, Vaughn in the middle, and Cadell on the inside. Now a battle for the lead. As Stifler wants to take it back away from the number 8 car, he will do so. Daniel Stifler back up to the point. Stifler, oh, caution, coming back out again. We've got one turned around. It is the number 11 of Tyler Dools, was running in about 13th position at the time of this accident here. He gets together with Stu Curl, and it's a single car incident for the number 11. So we'll see if we can get a couple laps strung together here. 7 complete, 13 to go for Stifler as he leads the way. Ehrman now getting by the 55 of Cadell and working on the number 8 car of Cam Campbell. Brady Ehrman side by side. Ehrman has a little bit advantage off of turn number 2, but the 8 car has that momentum off the top side, and Cam Campbell is still going to have 2nd as they cross the line. Cadell scored in 4th. Now here comes Jackson. He gets by the number 48 of Kyle Vaughn. Move Tyler Jackson up into the top 5. Jackson up to 5th in car number 8. Vaughn in 6th. Here comes a driver to the inside. Adam Carlisle getting into the side of Vaughn. They're 3 wide with Drew Hopkins down the front stretch. Good stuff here for about the 7th position. Vaughn with a move to slide in front of Hopkins right there. As Carlisle look at get the best of that duel between 3 drivers, and Carlisle's up into 6 as your top 5 nose to tail back into turn 1. Your entire top 5. Hayes at 9 on the inside with the number 3 car, James Richard. Richard, remember, was involved in that wreck on the 2nd lap of this event. Fights his way back to within position to maybe get up there for a transfer. He's up to the 13th now as he makes it by Parrish. Stifler with the lead. Cadell now trying to get by him. Stifler working about a lane up off the bottom. It's Stifler, Cadell, and Ehrman. The top 3 are nose to tail. Campbell fights back a little bit here, but now a race for the top spot as here comes the 55 of Cadell trying to take the lead away. Next time by, 3 laps to go, but the yellow is out. we've got the 00 car, Jace Parrish, who I was talking about earlier. 0 and the 73 were fighting hard. They both slid down onto the apron and then came back up the track and collected the 22 of Joshua Thomas, who actually flipped over pit wall and was stuck on his roof. So that's the end of the race for Thomas. With 3 laps to go here in this first prelim tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Stifler, Cadell, and Ehrman are the top 3. Looking back here, the battle for the transfer spot. Right now, Logan Catellis has it as he made it by. I can't remember who he passed there on that restart, but he made, I think it was Bonsignor, I believe, he made it past, and so puts Catellis up into a transfer spot. We've got white flag coming next time by. We got a new leader. There goes the 55 of Cadell, gets by the 71 of Stifler right before that last yellow. Stifler was leaving the bottom open, and you could tell that things were starting to develop at the front. Cadell takes the lead on the white flag lap. 1 to go for the 55. Ehrman actually going to go by as well. So the 55 car takes the lead, throws a rope back to the 43 of Ehrman, and then drags him along to second. Checkered flag coming this time by the 55. Cruz Cadell is going to pick up the win in prelim number 1. Also moving on to the finale, Grady Ehrman in second, Daniel Stifler in third. 4th spot goes to Cam Campbell. 5th goes to Adam Carlisle. Tyler Jackson, Drew Hopkins, Kyle Vaughn, Joshua Ringer, Rusty Bilger, James Richard, and Logan Catellis will be the 4 cars moving into tonight's feature event.
Well, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for the second preliminary feature of the evening. Coming up next, again, it'll be 20 laps, top 12. We'll go to the main feature a little bit later tonight as we get going back again here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, let's take a look at the lineup here for this 20-lap main event. The top 12 moving on to the finale. On the pole, it's going to be the number 1 car of Johnny Ratley on the pole, the driver. Ratley, I don't actually have his hometown on here, so not sure where. Oh, yeah, I do right there. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Outside him is the number 100. That'll be Christopher Hill out of Great Falls, Montana. Then we've got Ben Choate in the 91. 57 car, Jeremy Akins. And behind them, we've got Dustin Fryer and Tommy Evans Jr. The green flag is in the air. We are racing. Second prelim feature is underway. Up front, little contact for second as your race leaders Bryce Dickinson, but Chris Hill and Charles Barnes banging doors down the backstretch there, Mike. Now they're going 3 wide for the lead.
Down to click off lap number 1. It's going to be Dickinson with the race lead, but keep an eye on the top side and the bottom. Barnes going to go right to the bottom of this one. Hill going to go to the top, and Barnes is going to look like he's picked the right lane. But now coming back on the outside is Dickinson. Is good top 6 battle as they come through the corner as Hill gets a little out of shape. He gets shuffled out of position. Cars going around in 4-0, and Kyle Jarrett, I believe, just got the barrels coming into the infield pit area.
And it looks like a big checkup on the bottom line, starting with number 2 of Ty Dickinson. Colt Curry got in the back of him, and then after that, it was complete chaos there as Kyle. So we've got the lights out. We've got 2 laps complete, 18 to go. The second prelim taking a whole lot longer than the first one, that's for sure. As we head back to the green flag now, we're back underway.
So Dickinson will lead him down the front stretch. We'll see what Barnes does. Barnes has been good on the bottom so far. Looks like he's going to try to go to the middle this time through the corner, see if that gives him anything. But Barnes just smooth down the back straightaway, and he's going to try to roll that outside lane as Dickinson's holding the lane he wants. Meanwhile, a couple cars fighting right behind them. We'll see who comes up with the 3rd spot as they come across the line. As it looks like it's still going to be Thomas holding on.
Thomas is doing a good job right there in 3rd. We got a car way up by the wall back there in about 8th. Colt Curry's trying things out way up at the top side of the racetrack. 3 wide for 10th down the front stretch. John Quill, Kyle Ramsey, and James Stockton. It looks like they're all going to make it through unscathed here as, right now the top 12 pretty solid. 12th place is Dylan Hansen, and he's got about 3 car lengths over Ian Good. And I'll tell you what, Hansen, remember from earlier in that heat race there, Mike, he was had that car super jacked sideways every corner. He has not changed the setup. It is the exact same for him.
Hey, if it's holding on, that's all you got to do in this one so far. But Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead up front as Barnes going to slide underneath Dickinson off of turn number 2. He goes back to the wheelhouse on the bottom. He'll take that spot away. And keep an eye on Isaac Salas as well. He's been doing a good job trying to follow Barnes up through, just keeping it on the bottom. He's rolled his way up to the number 3 spot.
Salas. Hansen is definitely being pressured now. Ben Choate, we saw how good he was in that B main earlier. He has come to call. Now looking to the inside of Hansen. They're side by side for the last transfer. Hansen clears him again down the backstretch, but here comes Kyle Jarrett. Forgot about him. Had to come out of that B main, got in that wreck under the infield barriers, and now they're hitting each other in front of him for the transfer spot, and Jarrett's going to go by Hansen, move him one spot out of the transfer.
Much as I hate to say that Hansen hasn't been doing a great job on this one, I think Jarrett's just going to be too smooth in this situation. He's been good all night, and I think the looseness of Hansen's car is starting to catch up with him a little bit. Is now you got Jarrett all over Joe for that final spot as they come down the front straightaway again, but Hansen got a good run coming down on the outside that time.
And Hansen's not out of this one quite yet here. Man, that car, I just cannot believe how much speed it's got for being jacked sideways like that and bogging the engine down. But Hansen is making it work here, but he loses another spot to J.C. Floyd, who is up into the 14th position. After starting 12th, he was involved in that big wreck on the second lap of the race. So great job by these drivers. 15 down, 5 to go for your race leader, Charles Barnes, who's out to a 1.5 second lead.
By Barnes, and he's just been smooth all night in that number 21 car, and spots 2 and 3 same way. So I got a side-by-side battle though for spot number 4 as Thomas and Northcutt going to go right together. Salas now trying to work on Dickinson, trying to get back to that number 2 spot off of turn number 2 that time as they come down the back straightaway rather, as the 5 car is still trying to get through but just can't do it. It'll go back to the bottom, see if we can do anything to get by Dickinson, but Dickinson's been really good no matter where that car's been so far.
Yeah, Dickinson now loses the positioning there on the inside. Salas able to drive back underneath him, actually gives him a little bit of a shot in the side there and takes that position away. So Salas back to second, 3 to go next time by the line. Thomas 4th, Northcutt 5th, Hill 6th, Dickinson, Ramsey, Stockton, Quill, Curry, and Choate 12th. But this race for 12th, and they're wrecking off the corner. Caution is going to have to come out, as I believe it was Colt Curry. The car got turned around. He was in 11th position and got hit by Ben Choate off of turn number 4, and he got turned around. A yellow flag is out with, looks to be, 3 to go. Final 3 laps. We'll see what happens. And green flag.
Barnes going to take off as he's going to go right back to the front of the field. Salas with a couple laps to try to see if he can get by as well. Actually looks like 2 to go, Chase, as they head down the back straightaway. So a lap and a half left to go in this event as they'll come through turn number 3 and 4. White flag going to come out onto the speedway. Barnes looks like he's got the field covered, but keep an eye on the back towards spot number 12.
The white flag is out, so next flag will end the race. Kyle Jarrett is in the 12th spot, but he's in 11th, I should say. 12th at the line belongs to J.C. Floyd. Ben Choate's going to have some work to do. Jarrett nearly gets turned around by Floyd. Here comes Choate to the outside. Final corner, the race for the transfer spot. As they come to 3 4, Jarrett gets hit from behind by Choate, and he's going to hang on to it and finish just on the bubble spot. Kyle Jarrett finishes in 12th. Your winner, though, is Charles Barnes, followed by Isaac Salas, Bryce Dickinson, Dylan Thomas, Billy Northcutt, Christopher Hill, Ty Dickinson, Kyle Ramsey, James Stockton, John Quill, J.C. Floyd, and Kyle Jarrett, the 12 cars, moving on to the finale, which is a little bit longer than we were anticipating. We did have a driver not able to make it into the server. Actually, he did make it. He was just a little bit late. So let's take a look at the lineup for tonight's feature event here, as it looks like Tyler Jackson was the quickest overall here tonight in qualifying. Qualifying is wrapping up right now. We did have a driver miss this race here, but here's the lineup. Tyler Jackson on the pole in car number 822, and outside of him is the 55 of Cruz Cadell. Row 2, 21, that's going to be Charles Barnes on the inside, and outside of him is the 15 car of Adam Carlisle. Row 3, the 18 of J.C. Floyd, and outside of him is the 45 of Kyle Jarrett. Row 4, 71, Daniel Stifler on the inside, and outside of him is the 157 of Drew Hopkins. Row 5 inside, it's the current points leader with the series, the 52 car of Billy Northcutt, and outside of him is the number 64 of Logan Catellis. with row 6 showing us the number 5 of Isaac Salas and the 37 of James Stockton. Row 7, it's the number 3 car, James Richard, and outside of him is the number 48 of Kyle Vaughn, with row number 8 showing us the 77 car. That's Kyle Ramsey and the number 43 of Grady Ehrman. Behind them in the 9th row, you have the number 1 of Joshua Ringer on the inside, and he is flanked on the outside by the 84 of Bryce Dickinson. Inside row number 10, it's Ty Dickinson in car number 2, and outside of him is the 100 of Christopher Hill. And then behind him, you got the 87 of Rusty Bilger and the 24 of John Quill on row 11. And final starter for this one is going to be the 002 of Dylan Thomas. So we are missing that 24th starter. Not quite sure who that is that has not made it into the server. So we'll have to try and figure out who. Oh, I think it might have been Kyle Jarrett. 5. So let's see what happens. Coming to the green flag. It is the 8 of Jackson and the 55 of Cadell. Green flag is out for round number 3 of the Dirt Car Esports Street Stock Series.
Going to take the early lead through turn number 1 and 2 with Cadell following him. Keep an eye on Barnes. I expect him to go to the bottom for the majority of this, just like he did in his preliminary. And we'll see if he can get out front, because if that 21 car does make it past both Jackson and Cadell, he could be the one to catch here before this race is over.
Track is fast right now. A lot of guys starting to get single file towards the front of the field. The first side-by-side battle is between Daniel Stifler and Adam Carlisle. One car way up out of the group, the 64 of Logan Catellis. He's able to hang on to the race car, and we stay green. Everybody minding their P's and Q's for now in this one, as Jackson shows the way.
Jackson out front, top 5 going to flush out single file as they come down the front straightaway this time. You can see him running, and you can see where the line is right now before that little bit of brown right through the middle of the racetrack as they head down the back straightaway. All Jackson right there. Cadell still trying to hold right in his gas, but I think the patience is really starting to wear thin early, because you know they're mashing the gas. Meanwhile, though, 3 wide as one car got out of shape, and Kyle Jarrett's going to be the one to take advantage. He'll go to the outside and take a position away.
Good stuff here for about the 5th position. Carlisle, Jarrett, Stifler, and you throw your points leader in there as well, Billy Northcutt. Jarrett trying to hang on. He is the odd man out on the outside of the speedway. That's not where you want to be this early in the race there, I don't think. But you were the one racing earlier on there, Mike, but I don't think Jarrett wants to be where he's at right now.
Surprisingly, the outside, there's not a lot of momentum right now. You've got to stay right in the middle of the racetrack. Once it slicks off, you're able to run the top a little bit more, but you lose a lot of time and momentum on the top in the early going when it's a fresh track.
We got a battle for the lead now. Cadell got a nose underneath of Tyler Jackson. Now gets back in line. Charles Barnes makes the pass on the number 18 of JC Floyd. And now Barnes is coming to call. Looks to the outside of Cadell. He's got a nose on him down the back straightaway. Side by side for second. And while they do that, Tyler Jackson not quite able to get away from him. And Barnes hopped the right rear tire of Cadell. Slides up the racetrack, and Floyd goes by.
Got by Barnes to hold on to that, though, as he only slips back to 4th, and a good move by Floyd to take advantage, as now Cadell going to work to the bottom of the racetrack once again, looking to try to take the race lead. He'll pull even on entry of the Kilkenny, make it stick, though, as they're wheel to wheel. Little bit of a hip check through the corner. They'll come down to click off the lap, and at the line, it's going to be Cadell, and not by much.
How about JC Floyd in the 3rd spot? Now going to make it 3 wide almost for the lead. Floyd was a non-factor all night. I don't remember saying his name more than twice all day, and that was during the lineups. And now all of a sudden Floyd is battling for the lead, but the yellow is out. We've got Joshua Ringer around the car number 1. He was running in 14th position at the time.
Watch him come through the corner, and he just kind of got a little out of shape, may have had a little bit of help and just went around. Nothing too crazy.
22 to go, still quite a ways. Haven't even made it a third of the way through this feature event. Jackson on the hammer. Gets a great start over the 55 of Cadell. Pulls him about 2 car lengths down the front stretch. And all 24 starters rumble on into turn number 1. Looks like everybody's going to make it through 1 cleanly, and off of 2. Everybody's going to make it off of 2 as well. We are back underway.
Cadell a few laps last time to really make a move past Jackson, and actually Jackson's kind of blocking the bottom of the racetrack. He's through those first few corners. We'll see if he holds there, and he's going to try to make Cadell take the long way around at this point as they go through the corner. Jackson's still out there at front. Keep an eye on the battle between Floyd and Barnes. Barnes kind of out of his wheelhouse. I think he'd like to get back to the bottom.
Yeah, Charles Barnes, we saw how good he was in that second prelim feature. Won it by a country mile earlier on. That 21 car is definitely strong here tonight. Just needs to get by a couple more cars to put up a challenge on the number 8 of Tyler Jackson. How about Kyle Jarrett? What a night it's been for him. After the last transfer spot in that prelim feature, he had to come out of the B main, and now he's inside the top 5. The 45 car has had an up and down roller coaster type night, but things are going well early on in this feature.
Well, like we were talking earlier, when you were going down through the points standings, Chase, it's hard to get into these features when we got 2 sets of preliminaries to get through, and it's really showing you can get in, you can make a big swing in the point standings, and that's how these guys are doing it so far.
Yeah, when 60 cars are showing up on a weekly basis, it is tough to make the show, that's for sure. As looks like single file throughout most of the top 10 here. Isaac Salas going to poke his nose to the outside of Adam Carlisle. Whoa, a little bit of a checkup, and the yellow is out. And it looks like it is John Quill, the car involved in this one. Water barrels there, and we'll see what happened to the 77 this time.
You see as they go through the corner, Quill, and he just got tagged. It looked like coming around the corner and nowhere to go.
But we're coming back to green here in this street stock race at Bristol. Just shy of the halfway mark. Tyler Jackson back on the gas. A much better start this time, though, for the 55 of Cadell.
Oh, Cadell going to make a move right to the inside. Does Jackson have enough to block him down on the bottom? Looks like it's going to be Jackson holding on to the spot. And as they come down into turn number 3 and 4, what a great battle we have as Floyd going to hold on to that number 3 spot. Kyle Jarrett now side by side with Barnes as they come around to complete lap number 15.
A lot of double file racing right here as they work through 1 and 2. Multiple rows deep from about 7th on back. We've got at least 5 rows that are side by side. Now we've got a guy going 3 wide and a little contact. That's Ramsey back there with Stockton. He gets hit by Ty Dickinson. He's able to hang on to the race car. Now Bilger's sideways. There is a lot going on at the tail. They're 3 wide, trying to go 4 wide. Bilger's getting turned sideways. I don't know how we are, and hung on to it. I can't believe it.
And we stay green. I'll tell you what, that was very impressive driving by everybody, and a good job to keep things going as we move toward the second half of this feature event. As the top 3 still sticking single file for right now as Tyler Jackson holding on to that spot. Caudell looking to size him up, and I'll tell you what, a great run by J.C. Floyd in that number 18 car. He's doing a great job staying right with your top 2. He's been there this entire time after, like Chase said a little earlier, we haven't really talked about him all night.
Yeah, not really, and he is, right, like you said, sticking right there with the top 2, and now here comes Cadell trying to make a bid for the top spot. Looks to the inside of Jackson, can't make the pass. Floyd had a run on him, had to get on the binders there, or he was going to run into the back of Cadell, who is still door-to-door with the number 8 car of Tyler Jackson off of turn number 2, side by side. Might have a new leader. No, Jackson still has it as they work back into 1.
Finally getting the lane that he wanted as he goes through turn number 1 and 2, as we'll see 10 laps to go next time by. Caudell holding right to the inside of the racetrack. Jackson doing a great job. Floyd right there looking to pick up the pieces. Barnes coming back in as we have the makings of this 4-car battle once again up at the front. They come by 20, going to go in the books that time. It's still going to be Jackson, and not by much.
I would like to see Barnes get up to the outside of the racetrack here and get behind the number 8 of Jackson, as Floyd thought about making it 3 wide there, gets back in behind the number 55 of Cadell, but that could have gotten very interesting right there if the 18 took it 3 wide and had that preferred inside groove. Barnes, now he is going to go to the outside, 2 by 2 at the front of the field.
That time Jackson got way up to the top, and that might allow Caudell to slide in front of him. Jackson swings it out a lane higher this time. They touch for just a second going into 1 and 2. Caudell going to hold on to this. We'll see if Barnes can get the momentum to get by Floyd. Floyd working on Jackson for second at the same time. Throw a blanket over him.
Yeah, Jackson is losing ground. Now Barnes did not like how his car was rolling up there. He goes back to the inside behind Floyd. Jackson at the same time, however, gets a run down the back straightaway and goes even right there with the 55 Cadell. Look at Kyle Jarrett back there. He steps it up to the top shelf and is trying to get the 45 car rolling to the podium here.
Right back into this is Floyd right there with Jackson and Caudell as you'll continue to watch the race for the lead, and Caudell's been smooth right in the bottom, but he opens the door. Floyd trying to pull up even with him, but can't do it that time. There's a fine line to getting that momentum on exit of the corner, and Floyd just not having enough time to do it as Caudell holding on to this one here as we move toward the final 5 of this feature event.
Wow, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Kyle Jarrett right now. He has got the 45 car rolling on the top side of the speedway. Got by Charles Barnes that last time by. Now might get a fender on the number 18 car, J.C. Floyd, and now Jackson noses back ahead of Cadell into turn number 3. This time by only 5 laps to go. Cadell slides in front of him, blocks the line away. Wow, what a move right there with a 55. He cleared him and nearly got into the wall right there.
I think Jackson might have got a little bit of momentum from Jared pulling right up behind him, and Caudell smartly going to try to take the line away, but I don't know if Caudell realizes Floyd might be there right for the picking to try to take the spot if he stays on the top a little bit too long. Another lap going to go in the books as Caudell gets a little separation, and I mean a little, as they come down into turn number 1 and 2, but what a battle here for this race lead. Throw a blanket over the top 5.
I mean, shake and bake at the front of the field here. I mentioned it earlier. This place, the Bristol Motor Speedway, is like the Daytona for street stocks here. Now look at Jackson, runs the middle, but the yellow is going to come out with 4 laps to go. Well, here we go. Back to the green flag. We're going to have 4 to go, and wow, Caudell is going to pull away big time right there, and this restart might be the nail in the coffin for everybody else trying to win this race. Caudell got a great jump.
I think as much as I hate to say it, that caution came at the worst time for the battle for the lead, because I think 2 on back really lost their best shot at trying to get by Caudell. We'll see if Barnes can get by Jared or Floyd can get by Jackson, but time going to run out here as this time by 3 laps left to go.
3 to go at the front of the field for your race leader, Cruz Caudell. Tyler Jackson second, JC Floyd in third, Kyle Jarrett fourth, and Charles Barnes in fifth. They're all single file. First side-by-side battle is way back here in about the 10th spot. They're 3 wide. North cut nearly gets turned around by James Stockton. Out with a close call for your points leader as they come around. 2 to go.
2 laps left to go in this one, and oh, that could have changed a lot of things going forward in this one, as Northcutt trying to hold on here as we go back to the battle for the lead as they come around to swing for the white flag. Floyd still working hard to try to go under Jackson off of turn number 4, but it's going to be the 55 of Caudell here with 1 lap left to go as we'll go up through turn number 1 and 2. Chase Robin, bring it home.
Caudell trying to be the 3rd different winner in 3 races with the Dirt Car Esports Street Stock Series. He's got a car length advantage over Tyler Jackson. Heading to turn 3 for the final time. JC Floyd trying to get into the back of Jackson and rough him up for the 2nd spot, but it's going to be Cruz Caudell getting the win here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tyler Jackson finishes 2nd, JC Floyd 3rd, Kyle Jarrett and Charles Barnes round out the top 5 with Adam Carlisle, Daniel Stifler, Drew Hopkins, James Richard, Grady Ehrman, Isaac Salas will be the top 10. And wow, we had a problem for your points leader. Billy Northcutt fell all the way back to 12th. And wow, I cannot wait to see the updated point standings, because that is really going to shake things up right there big time.
That is going to be huge, and especially because, I mentioned it before, if we get 70-something cars next week once again, it's going to make things very, very interesting just trying to qualify in a place where you're not going to have as much room, obviously, on these smaller tracks.
This has been a presentation of Dirt Vision, a World Racing Group property. To get information about upcoming broadcasts, visit us on social media or at dirtvision.com.
File. First side-by-side battle is way back here in about the 10th spot. They're 3 wide. Northcutt nearly gets turned around by James Stockton. Out with a close call for your points leader as they come around. 2 to go.
2 laps left to go in this one, and oh, that could have changed a lot of things going forward in this one, as Northcutt trying to hold on here as we go back to the battle for the lead as they come around to swing for the white flag. Floyd still working hard to try to go under Jackson off of turn number 4, but it's going to be the 55 of Caudell here with 1 lap left to go as we'll go up through turn number 1 and 2. Chase Robin, bring it home.
Caudell trying to be the 3rd different winner in 3 races with the Dirt Car Esports Street Stock Series. He's got a car length advantage over Tyler Jackson. Heading to turn 3 for the final time. JC Floyd trying to get into the back of Jackson and rough him up for the 2nd spot, but it's going to be Cruz Caudell getting the win here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tyler Jackson finishes 2nd, JC Floyd 3rd, Kyle Jarrett and Charles Barnes round out the top 5 with Adam Carlisle, Daniel Stifler, Drew Hopkins, James Richard, Grady Ehrman, Isaac Salas will be the top 10. And wow, we had a problem for your points leader. Billy Northcutt fell all the way back to 12th. And wow, I cannot wait to see the updated point standings, because that is really going to shake things up right there big time.
That is going to be huge, and especially because, I mentioned it before, if we get 70-something cars next week once again, it's going to make things very, very interesting just trying to qualify in a place where you're not going to have as much room, obviously, on these smaller tracks.
This has been a presentation of Dirt Vision, a World Racing Group property. To get information about upcoming broadcasts, visit us on social media or at dirtvision.com.
Dirt Vision is home to all the greatest shows on dirt. World of Outlaws sprints, late models, and Super Dirt Car Series. You also get Dirt Car Summer Nationals and weekly shows from America's top tracks. Dirt Vision has the best all-around live coverage with flexible options for casual and hardcore fans. No commitments, cancel anytime, apps for most devices. Get your Fast Pass now at dirtvision.com.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
You wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws! World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now.
The greatest shows on dirt have the best fan gear in motorsports. Show your support for World of Outlaws sprints and late models. Go to worldofoutlaws.com and make your way to the Buy Now section in the upper right corner. You'll find hats, shirts, hoodies, and other great souvenirs for all fans. Spend $50 or more to get free shipping. Shop anytime at worldofoutlaws.com.
Good evening and welcome to the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing. It's round number 4 of the 2022 season, and we have come to iRacing's newest venue, Lincoln Speedway, getting ready to put on a show for us in this 4th round of the 2022 Sprint Car campaign. Tim Terry and Chase Rodman here to bring you through all the action here this evening. And Chase, this place looks absolutely phenomenal in the sim. Can't wait to see how it races.
Yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun here tonight, Tim. This track is one of the top 5 on my list when it comes to World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series action in real life, and it's great to have it on the iRacing simulation now. This is the very first time this series is racing here at this track. It only came out on the sim maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, so these drivers really don't have a lot of laps at it, and that's going to make things very interesting here. I don't think anybody's going to have a setup that is absolutely dialed in here, and that can make things super interesting later on. As we take a look at the schedule for the rest of the season, 3 races down and 7 to go, if my math's right there, Tim.
Yeah, we can see the first half of the season coming almost to a close. We'll go to I-55 next week, and then we'll head into January, 5 straight weeks in January to crown a champion. 3 weeks. Williams Grove last week was action-packed, and you can take a look at the standings. And I think the biggest thing we take away from this, besides Hayden Cardwell winning a 2nd straight feature and moving up into 6th, is Alex Bergeron dodged an absolute huge bullet last week, qualified dead last in his heat, got a little bit of a saving grace, made his way in through his heat race to transfer in, and dodged a huge bullet. Still has a 47-point advantage.
Yeah, he's got 3 top 5s in the first 3 races this year, including that win at the first race at Volusia Speedway Park. He is going to have to make a mistake if anybody wants to track him down. Timothy Smith in 2nd, J.D. Brown, Tyler Schell, and Kendall Tucker the top 5, but Cardwell is the one that everybody's paying attention to right now. 2 wins in a row, and he has closed, I want to say after the first race, Tim, I want to say he was 32nd in points, and after the last 2 races has moved all the way up to 6th. So the 0-7, if he can keep this streak alive, might be able to track down the number 12 of Bergeron here in the closing races of the season.
As we get closer to the halfway point of this season, keep your eye on the top 15 as well, because right now that is currently tight with 6 points between 14th and 16th to try to lock yourself into the series for next season. We talked about this racetrack, Chase. Lincoln Speedway is where we are tonight, and a beautiful racetrack.
Yeah, the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, they call it, in the Pigeon Hills of Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, about an hour away from the Williams Grove Speedway, built in 1939. And this place is small, but it is extremely wide when you get into the corners, and turns 1 and 2 a little bit different. It doesn't look like it on the track map, but it is a little bit different compared to turns 3 and 4. And this place just puts on some great racing. They have weekly racing on Saturday nights, always get over 30 cars in their 410 sprint car field during their weekly competition, and it is just so great to have yet another world famous Pennsylvania track here on the iRacing sim and on this World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series schedule. So a lot to look forward to here tonight, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of PA fans tuned in here to see how it goes for the first time.
And as the track is ready to go, qualifying has just completed. We've got 4 heats set to come at you this evening. We'll run 10 laps apiece. We'll run 2 last chance showdowns at 12 apiece. Here is heat race number 1, Chase.
Yeah, on the pole, the driver that is second in the point standings coming into tonight is out of Fulton, Missouri, the M9 Sim Sport number 86 of Timothy Smith. And outside of him is the car number 13 of Aiden Beerline out of Woodford, Virginia for Team ABR Setup Shop. Row number 2 on the inside, another driver inside the top 5 in the point standings. It's the 00 of Kendall Tucker. He's from Mount Airy, North Carolina for Swindell Speed Lab Esports. Outside of him is the number 24 car. That'll be Tanner Pettit. He's out of Chico, California from Momentum Sim Sport. Row number 3 on the inside, the 42 car. That'll be Paul Bryan from Man Up Sim Racing. He's out of Little Mountain, Queensland, Australia in the 42 car. Outside of him is the number 174 machine of Loic Bernier from Victoriaville, Quebec, Canada for Slick Sim Sport. Moving on to row number 4, we got the number 50 car. That'll be Clayton Davies, another one of our Australian drivers out there in the number 50, starting in the 7th position. And outside of him, it is the former World of Outlaws Late Model Series champion, Blake Majulis, in car number 127 from Jamestown, New York, for CFM Esports. Final starter in this one, it's the driver out of Tracy, California for car number 74. It's the driver from Swindell Speed Lab Esports, Adam Elby. So 9 cars, 10 laps, the top 4 moving on to tonight's first ever feature event with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series here at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. And like I said, Tim, at the top of the show there, nobody really has that many laps here. The track has only been on the sim for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and that is, I feel like tonight could definitely be a wild card. Maybe some guys that have got some more laps on this place, that, compared to others, might be able to shine here this evening.
And I think back to last week and all the wild and all the action, crazy, whatever you want to call last week was at Williams Grove. The one thing that I take from that as well, Paul Bryan is in this heat race. He's starting in position number 5, one of our drivers from Australia, and he was up on the wheel through his heat, got through everything that he needed to through qualifying to get into his first feature of the season. Finished in 15th, not the place that I'm sure he wanted to finish the evening, but considering how crazy last week was, I'm sure he's happy with it. Starts 1 spot out of a transfer position. The 42 on your screen will start in position number 5, inside starting position for this one. Chase, we saw the track change last week. As you see the program on your screen, first of 4 heat races, 10 laps each, top 4 advance, 2 from each of the LCQs, 12 laps apiece, and then we've got a 35 lap feature coming up for round number 4. We talked a lot about Williams Grove last week and how this racetrack, or how that racetrack changed. What do we see here this evening? Because I already see a little bit of a darker groove in this place.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see how slick it is here, Tim, so early in the night. Just only qualifying has ran for our 34 drivers that have showed up here this evening. And really, I don't know how this track reacts in the simulation. This is the first time I've ever actually seen a race here on the iRacing sim. But like I said, I've been here in real life on a couple of different occasions, and every single time we go here with the Real Life World of Outlaws series, it gets super, super slick. And right here on this side of the racetrack, I mentioned 1 and 2 being different from 3 and 4. If you could keep that left front tire right next to that inside wall, especially on the exit, and get that grip down the back straightaway, there is a lot of speed to be made, and we've seen a lot of races in real life be won on the bottom of turn number 2 here at Lincoln Speedway. So heading into the restart zone here, the start zone I should say, as the pace truck is off and we are green. The first heat race of the night, Timothy Smith and Aiden Beerline up on the front row as we go green.
It looks like Aiden Beerline's going to get the advantage on the outside line. Timothy Smith going to have to fall back to position at number 2. Looks like Pettit on the outside trying to make something happen midway through the pack. But we've seen Timothy Smith hop to the outside on a couple of occasions. We'll see what he can do here from the inside as he battles wheel to wheel with Aiden Beerline.
And you see right there, he got that left front tire right next to the inside wall in turn 2, took the lead for a moment. Beerline fights him off on the outside, but you really got to slow the car down a lot to to hit the bottom of turn number 2 on the exit there. Timothy Smith makes the pass, takes the lead away, and things will happen quickly here, Tim. These guys running about 13-second lap times, so this race is going to go by in a hurry. Here comes Kendall Tucker to the outside of Smith, and Beerline takes the lead away down the back straightaway.
And Kendall Tucker looking on. There's Paul Bryan. We talked about him earlier. Up on the wheel, solid on that wheel, trying to get something out of this heat race. Currently sitting in position number 5. His focus trying to get to that second group and make something happen. But right now, it's a great spot in a last chance showdown, but I'm sure that's not where he wants to be.
Yeah, he is in 5th, but I mean, like you said, a great spot. He would be on the front row of a last chance showdown later on. Kendall Tucker up the road, trying to get by for the second spot, not able to get by Aiden Beerline. Bottom of the track seems to be the place you want to be on right now, but here comes Tucker in the back bumper of Beerline down the front straightaway. Every spot here in these heat races, Tim, is worth 2 rows on that A-main starting grid, and Kendall Tucker right now, top 5 in the point standings, knows he needs to get by Beerline. Almost made the pass there to come across the line, free to go.
And you see Timothy Smith just kind of off your frame as he is kind of pulled away from this battle that continues to go back and forth. The 13 of Beerline going to pick up the position one more time, and Kendall Tucker going to have to fight back to position number 2. He will do so, throw a slide job up here. Pettit sitting in position number 4, but he may have company. He goes to the inside of Beerline to try to get a little bit of insurance, but Blake Majulis is coming through the pack. He's going to potentially maybe your chase run at a time.
Yeah, that's 127, not close enough to make anything happen here as Pettit goes by Beerline for 3rd, and Beerline starts on the outside of the front row, is going to finish 3rd as he drives around Pettit, but your winner right there, the number 86 of Timothy Smith. A great start to the night for the driver out of Fulton, Missouri.
If this was a 12-lapper, Blake Majulis may have got there. By the way, the Beerline and Pettit were racing for that final transfer position, but Beerline will take 3rd, Pettit will take 4th, and behind Kendall Tucker, Majulis, Bryan, Elby, Bernier, and Davies will have to go through a last chance showdown. Fairly tame in heat race number 1. We'll see what heat race number 2 holds for us.
Yeah, row number 1 on the inside for heat race number 2. The driver out of Morgantown, Pennsylvania. It's Kenny Miller III in car number 23 for M9 Simsport. Outside of him, it's the number 51 of Clayton Tilley for Momentum Simsport. He's from Bibber Lake, Western Australia. Row number 2 on the inside, the driver out of Santa Rosa, California. It's James Edens for Swindell Speed Lab Esports in 52. Outside of him, the number 25, that'll be Tyler Ducharme from Beaumessine, Vermont for Slick Simsport. And he starts in the 4th position. The winner of the last 2 races with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series starts on the inside of row number 3. That's Hayden Cardwell, the driver out of Sevierville, Tennessee in 07. Outside of him, the 18 car, that'll be Austin Semmelman. And he will roll off from the 6th position for Tony Stewart Racing. Row number 4 on the inside, the 11 car, that'll be Kenny Hoffman. And Hoffman, one of our rookie contenders this season for Momentum Simsport. He's from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And outside of him, the number 48 car of Dylan Yeager for CFM Esports. He is in the 48 from Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Final row in this one, the final starter, I should say, is the 39 machine. That'll be Andrew Heffler, as he is all alone there on that 5th row. So once again, 9 cars, 10 laps, top 4 moving on, and we saw just how quick that first heat race went by, Tim. If you're starting in the back of this field, you've got to make moves quick.
You'll have to get up on the wheel, and you're going to have to get up on the wheel if you want to save yourself some money on a new membership. Get 50% off new memberships until January 8th. Visit iRacing.com/holiday-sale to see your deal today. That's 50% off new memberships until January 8th. iRacing.com/holiday-sale, and to get your career started on iRacing and, maybe do some laps with these sprint cars at Lincoln. We're having some fun tonight. Have your own fun. Head over to iRacing.com and get behind the wheel today as the field getting ready to roll off here momentarily for heat race number 2. We'll lock 4 more drivers in, and I think the one to watch in this one is probably going to be Hayden Cardwell starting in position number 5. Still got plenty of laps to get it done, but we'll see where he ends up shaking out here in the opening few laps.
Yeah, we've seen Cardwell get himself in trouble, though, Tim, on these heat races when he starts, in the mid-pack, especially when it came to the World of Outlaws late model series last year. Every time Cardwell did not get a good qualifying lap in, something always seemed to happen that would put him back into a last chance showdown position. So Cardwell needs to pass at least 1 car here if he wants to be in the show, not run that LCS. So I think he knows that a lot of eyes are on him here tonight in that 07 car after winning 2 races straight. He seems to be the favorite to, put a challenge up to Alex Bergeron here in 2022/23. So Cardwell going to have to make some moves here. But how about Kenny Miller, the third on the pole this one, Tim? He is a Pennsylvania native and actually runs here at the Lincoln Speedway on a pretty regular basis throughout the season in non-wing sprint car action. So Kenny Miller might have a little bit of an advantage here over the field.
He may have a little home track advantage for the 23 of Kenny Miller as he'll line up and get ready to go racing with the 51 of Clayton Tilley to his outside as we get ready to see the green, and the 23 is gone. Green flag flies. We're underway in heat race number 2, and quickly keep your eye on that battle to transfer. Almost fanned out 3 wide down into 1.
Yeah, good stuff here already in this one. Side by side for second as your leader pulls away a little bit there as Kenny Miller is looking good early. James Edens gets by the 51 of Clayton Tilley, trying to drag the 25 of Ducharme with him. And here comes Cardwell in the white number 07 car. Like we talked about, got to get by one car if he wants to be in the show. To the outside of Ducharme. He'll make the pass, and Cardwell's up to 4th.
Go where they are not, and he's on the extreme outside line, as you can see that. Looking back from Kenny Miller, the local boy, the hometown talent, trying to pick this one up, and he's leaving the field in his dust right now.
Yeah, he's running that inside of the racetrack off of 2, Tim, like we talked about earlier, and that is just super fast here at Lincoln Speedway. We've seen that over the years here at this racetrack in Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, as it looks like Cardwell's catching up to your second and third place cars. Whoa, Edens got into the back of Tilley right there, checked him up down the front straightaway, and Cardwell closes in for that 3rd position.
About to have a battle on our hands as Hayden Cardwell continues to work the outside line and try to pick up a little more insurance, and leaving Tyler Ducharme in the rear view of that race car as you battle, or you see that battle, the 07 trying to get up to the driver in front of him, and there is Hayden Cardwell on your screen. He's got the focus, trying to get up here to the 52 of James Edens to make something happen in the second half of this heat.
Yeah, it looks like Edens just a little bit too strong right now for the 07 to make a move. 3 laps to go this time by as Edens is now battling once again with the 51 of Tilley. Tilley on the bottom. Edens tries to run the middle. He might have a run down the back straightaway. Not able to make the pass quite yet. A good race this entire way for second. But it looks like second and third, Tim, to me, are tracking down your leader just a little bit there as they go side by side to turn 1.
You know, they're tracking down the leader, but I think they may run out of time here as the 23 of Kenny Miller getting ready to see the white flag and see that final lap come out here momentarily. This battle for second heating up, though. Edens and Tilley back and forth as we are on the final lap of this one, and Kenny Miller trying to make it look easy as Cardwell has a moment trying to get up here and make something happen with Tilley for third. Almost got the fence here if he didn't. Checkered flag for Kenny Miller. Miller will win this one. James Edens is going to come home with position number 2. Tilley in 3rd, and Cardwell holds on to 4th. He was trying everything to get a little bit more, but he's going to be in the feature. Ducharme, Hoffman, Yeager, Heffler, and Semmelman will have to go through a last chance showdown. 2 quick heat races. We got 2 more coming up after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series is brought to you by CarQuest Auto Parts. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Drive like an outlaw. Available now on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5.
Go at it. Chase, heat race number 3 coming up. Who's in this one?
On the pole, it's the two-time series champion and the current series point leader from Drummondville, Quebec, Canada. It's the Team ABR setup shop number 12 of Alex Bergeron. And outside of him, it's the car number 41. That'll be Logan Rumsey from Manchester, Pennsylvania for Slick Sim Sport. Row number 2 on the inside, that'll be the car number 20 of Aiden Forster. Forster out of Cass City, Michigan from Momentum Sim Sport. He'll start third. Outside of him is the number 85 of Tyler Schell from Millersburg, Pennsylvania for Elbows Up Sim Sport. Row 3 on the inside, the driver out of Lemoore, California, the Momentum Sim Sport number 49 of Ryan Avila. And outside of him is the number 5 car of Braden Eiler for Elbows Up Sim Sport from Franklin, Pennsylvania. Final row in this one, the number 4 car of Ross Kaiser from San Jose, California. He is driving the Momentum Sim Sport number 4, and outside of him is the number 1 car for Black Diamond Motorsports. That is Mason Hannigan from Pittsboro, Indiana. So 8 cars in this one, 10 laps, top 4, going into tonight's main event. Bergeron on the front row alongside of Rumsey. So you got the two-time champion, I should say, of the series on the front row. And then you got Logan Rumsey, a guy who's got some real-world experience. We talked about Kenny Miller having real-world experience here at Lincoln Speedway. Logan Rumsey, throw him into the mix as well in that same boat because he has ran a lot of races here last year. So the front row could be interesting here. Rumsey's shown speed all year long, not only here in the sprint cars, but also in the late models. So 41 car could be a dark horse to win this heat race.
And there is what they are fighting for this season with your championship purse. Top 10 get a little bit of cash, with first place picking up 10 grand per race, 300, 200, and 100 for second and third in this evening's feature event. Alex Bergeron has a better look in this heat race than he did 1 week ago, as we are on the third and fourth heat races. We will take 4 from these, move 2 from the LCQs, and go ahead and Chase, we see the racetrack again. There's that little bit of a slick spot in the middle of the racetrack as these drivers have been able to try to navigate one side or the other.
Yeah, you can see right there on the inside of the track, it's still got about a lane and a half wide of those guys to run the bottom. And the bottom, I think, is going to be the place to be through these heat races. But once that lane gets about maybe half that size in the feature event, that's when it's going to see that top side come in. You got to slow way down to hit the bottom once that lane is about a half the size of it is now. So the top will come in. We saw a couple guys trying to work it into those last couple of heat races, but as the racing goes on here, as that top gets cleaned up a little bit, that's when we're going to see guys starting to venture up to the top side and making speed up there. They can go up there all they want, Tim, but it's just a little bit dirty right now and not a ton of speed, but it'll get cleaned up here by the end of these heats and maybe by the beginning of those last chance showdowns. Bergeron and Rumsey to the start zone here. They will lead the field down to the green flag in heat race number 3.
And it's going to be a battle for position number 2 right off as Rumsey trying to hold off Forster to the inside. Shell's got company on the outside as Eiler tries to make something happen. Top 3 nose tail, and there's that 5 almost up into the wall. If he didn't get it, we're 4 wide for last.
Yeah, we saw Eiler last week at Williams Grove was really crazy on the top of the racetrack there, trying to take the win away from Hayden Cardwell. He's right now in the 5th position up front, race for the lead. Here comes Forster. He's got the bottom side rolling, almost got by Bergeron, but makes a mistake off of turn number 4. Bergeron pulls away by 3 car lengths, and there's the 41 of Rumsey trying to get that top side worked in. He doesn't look too bad here midway through this heat race.
Now, Rumsey was trying that inside line, and Forster was there to that inside line. Had to try something different, and it's going to move the 41 into position number 2. Why not go back to the outside line, try to pick something up a little bit more, and Bergeron right there should something happen that Rumsey gets that run through the corner, and he's to the back bumper of the number 12. Little contact almost, and up the hill goes the 41, and he is going to hello.
He collects Mason Hannigan, Ryan Avila, and Ross Kaiser. What a huge wreck off of turn number 2. And that is going to move Ross Kaiser up into the 4th spot. He did get a piece of that wreck, but he was able to drive away. So Kaiser will go from 7th there. He started 7th in this one. He's now into a transfer spot. What a big break for the number 4 car.
almost looked like that 41 pitched it in a little too deep and almost took out that 12 car with him as you ride on board with Tyler Schell, currently in position number 3. And I think as this all shakes out, Chase, Ross Kaiser is currently your 4th place driver, and right now in a transfer position, he hasn't made a feature all season long.
Well, Kaiser, sometimes got to be lucky, or better to be lucky than good, I should say, there for the number 4 car here tonight, as he was not in a transfer at the time of that crash, made it by, and now he will be in tonight's feature event if he can hang on for 2 more laps, that time by Bergeron, by about 4 car lengths, leads Forster, who's got his hands full now with the number 85 of Tyler Schell back into turn 3.
You can see Rumsey back there, but it might be a little too late for the 41 as you look at the battle. There's the contact, and Schell goes through the 20 of Forster, goes around, and that's not what you want to see on the final lap as the checkered flag will come out for Alex Bergeron, and that is a Forster still going to come home in 3rd, so I guess, Chase, no harm, no foul sort of thing for that, but Schell's going to move up a little bit in that starting grid when it comes to the feature later on. Schell, Forster, and Kaiser making his first feature of the season. Rumsey, Hannigan, Avila, Eiler, your field. That was exciting. We'll see what if there's any more excitement here in this 4th heat.
Yep, final heat race of the night lines up like this on the pole. It's the most recent World of Outlaws late model series champion for CFM Esports, the driver out of Chesney, South Carolina in 33, Evan C. Outside of him, it's the driver from Findlay, Ohio. It's the number 22 car of Bryce Lucius. Lucius, like I said, out of Findlay, Ohio. Row number 2 on the inside is the number 9 car. That'll be Tanner Miller from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's driving for Scott Thomason Racing. Outside of him is the number 17 car. That'll be Eric Whitner. And Whitner coming to us by way of Berwick, Pennsylvania. Row number 3 on the inside, the 14 car. That'll be J.D. Brown from Bakersfield, California for Slick Sim Sport. And outside of him is the number 21. That is John Helms from Olivehurst, California for CFM Esports. Row 4, it's the number 60 car of Sean English. He's from Brandon, Florida. And outside of him, it's the number 16 of Blake Giglio from Williamson, New York for M9 Sim Sport. Final heat race of the night, the final 4 spots to lock straight into tonight's feature event. And, well, hopefully we don't see what we saw in that last one there as we take a look at a replay here and see what exactly happened in both accidents in heat race number 3. This is the first one that took out about 5 cars here, Tim. They're rolling down the backstretch here. Oh, wow, did not see that happen right there. Not even sure who that was. But, wow, that was a huge incident for that driver. But now the next one, I believe, is going to be the one from heat race number 3 that took out about half the field here. And right there, Rumsey hit the wall, came down the track, got in the Hannigan, Avila, and there's Kaiser. Look at Kaiser. Kind of bounces off those guys and keeps his foot in the throttle on it, and it pays off for him.
I think the first one might have been Eiler. The other one there with Rumsey, there's a lot of hearts broken in that one. You look at who's already in a Last Chance Showdown. Obviously, this is the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing. There's no slouches in this field, but when you have to go to a Last Chance Showdown, you add a guy like Logan Rumsey. That's going to be tough to get through. And speaking of this series, for all the information that you need, driver profiles, the schedule, the standings, everything that you need to keep up to date with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing, you can head to iRacing.com/WOOSC. That is iRacing.com/WOOSC for all the information on this series. We are going to add 4 more names to the feature grid, and Evan C. up in front. He's had an up and down season with these sprint cars, obviously had his way in the late models, and he's got good track position to start this heat race off.
Yeah, great start for this one for Evan C. But you talked about that Last Chance Showdown and how stacked it already is. Just looking back through the results here, we've got Adam Elby in a Last Chance Showdown, Blake Machulis in a Last Chance Showdown. You've got Dylan Yeager and Tyler Ducharme in one as well. Looking back to the field, Logan Rumsey, Mason Hannigan, Braden Eiler. So definitely some tough customers coming up here in these Last Chance Showdowns that the guys in this heat race do not want to have to worry about. So heading to the green flag here, Evan C. and Bryce Lucius. Green flag is out, and we are underway. Final heat race of the night here at Lincoln Speedway.
Who will lock their way into the fourth round, and there's the 22 on the outside of Lucius. What a run for Bryce Lucius to the outside, trying to take it away. Then 9 to the inside of Tanner Miller, and there's Eric Whitner in the mix as well.
They just went 3 wide for a full lap for the race lead. Car in the middle is Evan C. On the bottom, it's Tanner Miller, and on the outside, it's Bryce Lucius. Tanner Miller back to the inside, but here comes Eric Whitner as well. A 4-car battle for lead. They've been 3 wide, Tim, for the first 2 laps of this race for the top spot. Great stuff here in heat race number 4.
And the outside, I thought it was going to prevail. The 22 to that outside line, the 9 to the inside. Up the hill goes Miller, and there goes C, and he gets a little contact. Whitner gets bonked out of the way by the 14 of J.D. Brown, and up the hill they go again, and oh boy, this is far from over.
How they kept it going the right direction there and maintained their transfer spots is beyond me. Evan C. and Eric Whitner, great driving by those 2 guys to hang on to it. Up front though, Tanner Miller trying to get by Bryce Lucius to the inside, can't do it. Lucius pulls away. Right on board with Blake Giglio right now in the 6th position. Has got to get by 2 of those cars, Tim, if he wants to be in tonight's A-Main.
And with the way they are going, the C's may end up parting for Blake Giglio as the 17 of Whitner trying to get by the 14 to the inside of J.D. Brown. That is the battle to transfer. Evan C. right up the road from them, trying to hold on to a transfer position. There again, 3 strong names. You add Giglio into the mix. One of these guys may end up going to a last chance showdown.
Yeah, this is 4 guys going for 2 spots here, so this could get interesting. In 3 to go this time by. Whitner slides in front of C. Here comes J.D. Brown. We've seen him work the bottom so well all year long. He's doing it again here tonight at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. Down the back straightaway, J.D. Brown trying to get by Evan C., who takes his line away, slips to the middle. Brown has a run down the front straightaway. Here comes Giglio. He gets by Brown for 5th.
Oh, and by the way, throw this into the mix. Whitner has not made a feature so far this season. He's looking to change that. It looks like he's got the upper hand in this battle because they're battling for 4th behind him. As I say that, C goes back to the inside and tries to take it away one more time as we are on the final lap of competition in this final heat race. J.D. Brown digging deep on the inside, trying to make something happen. Up in front, it's all Bryce Lucius, as Lucius will take the checkered flag. Tanner Miller will come home in 2nd. Whitner going to hold on for 3rd, and in behind, it looks like on that last lap, Blake Giglio is going to come away with that final transfer spot. How about Evan C. in a last chance showdown? J.D. Brown, Sean English, John Helms, they'll all fight for a combined 4 transfer spots between 2 last chance showdowns. They are coming up after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Modified DLC pack also features the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 and will be available for digital purchase on the PlayStation and Xbox stores this month.
The World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series is brought to you by CarQuest Auto Parts and by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Drive like an outlaw. Available now on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5.
Some great 2, 3, and even glimpses of 4-wide racing here through the heat races at Lincoln Speedway. We've got 2 stacked last chance showdowns coming at you to determine the final 4 starters in this evening's A main. Chase, who's in LCQ number 1?
On the pole, you got the 127 of Blake Majulis. He is the former late model series champion. Outside of him is the number 41 car of Logan Rumsey. Run number 2 on the inside, the 42 car, Paul Bryan. And outside of him is the number 1 of Mason Hannigan. Row 3 on the inside, the 74, Adam Elby. And outside of him is the 49 of Ryan Avila. Row 4, it's the 174 of Blake Bernier. And outside of him is the number 5 of Braden Eiler, with Clayton Davies rounding out the field in car number 50. And man, if I'm a competitor, I am glad I am not in this last chance showdown, Tim. This is super, super stacked. I could not pick 2 guys right now I couldn't even pick 1 guy right now that I think is going to transfer. There's just about 6 of them that I think could have a shot at it.
You look at the back of the field, you've got Eiler at the back in the 5 car starting in 8th. You got Avila, who's been good this season, starting 1 row ahead of him. Adam Elby in that same row. You've got Majulis and Rumsey currently in the transfer positions. You got Paul Bryan in 3rd. You've got a lot of stacked competition in this one. We want to remind you again, the holiday season is just around the corner. Well, it's days away. If you're looking to get somebody the gift of iRacing, you can get 50% off new memberships until January 8th. Visit iRacing.com/holiday-sale to see your deal today. Once again, 50% off new memberships until January 8th. iRacing.com/holiday-sale. And for all the information you need on getting your iRacing career on track, head to iRacing.com and get that new membership. Grab the sprint car and maybe do some laps around this Lincoln Speedway. Beautiful job the iRacing team has done to bring this thing to life, and we have seen some great racing so far this evening, and these last chance showdowns are going to be doozies. We're only taking 2. Strap in. This one is going to be wild.
This is going to be interesting here. The top of the track is starting to get cleaned off a little bit here, especially in 3 and 4. I'm going to take a look at it here in 1 and 2 when they come by this time. And yeah, it looks like it's starting to get cleaned up a little bit, and you'll be seeing guys, I would say, in this LCS starting to get up to the top here. Now, bottom, it's gotten a lot narrower. You can see there, Tim. It's super narrow compared to earlier. It's about half the size of it was earlier, so you got to really slow down to hit it the way you need to. So that could play into the hand of some guy coming from the tail of the field here in this last chance showdown. 12 laps, just the top 2 moving on as we go. Great start from Blake Majulis.
Majulis is on it. Rumsey right up to that outside line, and he will maintain position number 2 as Hannigan looks to the inside of that 41 in car number 1. They race down the straightaway in behind the 49 of Avila, trying to make a move on Bryan, and then you've got Eiler back there trying to make something happen in the 5, but he's boxed in. He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, Rumsey right now in 2nd. I think he's going to want to try and put the move on Blake Majulis to get the win, as here comes Hannigan. He's not going to let him do it. Hannigan slides in front, takes it away. What a move right there by Mason Hannigan. Car to the wall. Ryan Avila, he falls to the tail, but the change for 2nd, it now belongs to the number 1 car, Mason Hannigan.
Braden Eiler, we saw that move with the 49. He's trying everything that he can to get through the field, and there's this battle for not only position number 2, but the lead as well as Majulis is there, and there's Eiler. Eiler is on an absolute mission in this last chance showdown. After pretty much starting last in this one after his heat race, he's looking at 2nd.
Yeah, he's looking really good now. He takes 2nd away. Now he's going to go for the lead to the inside. Nope, he's going to go back to the outside in turn 3 and try to take the lead away. Wants a little bit of insurance. Does not want to be on the bubble spot. Eiler is going to take it away across the start-finish line from 8th to the lead in 6 laps. Braden Eiler takes it away down the back straightaway.
He is not to be denied in this last chance showdown, and now it's a battle for 2nd as Hannigan had 2nd for most of this one as you ride on board with driver number 1 trying to get by the 127 of Blake Majulis. Rumsey sitting in position number 4 in behind Mason Hannigan, but nowhere to go for these guys. Oh, into the wall. The only place to go is to follow Eiler right now as he is pulling away.
Yeah, Eiler showed him where the top was at. He said, "Top's up here, bud." Drove right by the entire field, almost ripped the vinyl clean off the side of the 127 of Majulis, and he is pulling away big time from the second and third place cars of Blake Majulis and Mason Hannigan. The race for the transfer spot. Here comes Hannigan to the inside, tries to throw a slider. He's going to get into Majulis and put him into the wall. Mason Hannigan takes the second spot away with an aggressive maneuver.
And back to the inside goes Rumsey. Rumsey trying to do the same thing and take away position number 2. Hannigan going to go back to the inside. Make it happen. Back down to the inside is the 41 as they continue to trade sliders on this racetrack for position number 2. They're quickly running out of laps. They got to figure this one out as Eiler has gone ahead.
White flag next time by big move from Rumsey right here. Tries to slide up the hill. They get together off the corner. They're both into the wall. Rumsey's upside down. Hannigan pulls away, but he's going to have damage to that car. Now third, it looks like it's going to be number 50 of Clayton Davies. We'll see if he can track down the number 1. Hannigan hits the wall and off of turn number 4.
Hannigan trying to hold on to this one as Davies and Loic Bernier close in on the final lap of this one. And man, oh man, it's going to be Eiler taking it away in the second place battle coming off the corner. Little more contact for this last chance showdown. And man, oh man, what a finish to that one. It was all behind Braden Eiler. Mason Hannigan going to pick up position number 2. Bernier and Davies charged at the end. Adam Elby, Paul Bryan, Logan Rumsey, Blake Majulis, and Ryan Avila, your field. You look at third on that. There's some big names that are missing this Lincoln Speedway A main tonight. And if you like what you saw there, Chase, we got one more coming at you.
That was about as wild as it gets right there in the first one. I don't know how this one's going to live up to it, but we'll find out. The 25 car of Tyler Ducharme going to be on the pole. Outside of him is the number 14 of J.D. Brown, teammates for Slick Simsport. Row number 2 on the inside, the driver from Momentum Simsport. It's Kenny Hoffman, and outside of him, the 33 of Evan C. Row 3 on the inside, the 48 car of Dylan Yeager, and outside of him is the number 60 of Sean English. Row 4, the 39 machine of Andrew Heffler, and outside of him, the 21 driven by John Helms. Final starter should be the number 18 of Austin Semlin. 9 cars in this one, and once again, 12 laps. The final 2 spots for tonight's 35-lap feature event at Lincoln Speedway. And man, Tim, there was probably some hurt feelings and probably some friendships lost potentially on that last chance showdown.
There are going to be some drivers that are not exchanging Christmas cards next week, but hopefully they can get over that and come back the next day and race at Peevely I-55 coming up on December 26th. And then the right-hand side of your graphic there is the month of January, and that will make or break somebody's championship run or top 15 run to maintain their license in this series. This race has kind of been, I don't want to say a wild card so far tonight, Chase, but brand new venue. To iRacing, brand new venue to this World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing. And we've seen some drivers go through the ringer here and some big names not even make it.
Yeah, like, man, that last one, Logan Rumsey gets taken out of it. Also does the number 5 of Eiler. So here's the racetrack as we're looking at it now, but I did just receive word that there will be track work after this last chance showdown for tonight's 35-lap feature. But right now it is about as slick as you could ask for here in this final LCS here tonight. So these guys really having to work the throttle, maybe a little bit of break if you're running the inside of the track here. So didn't really see many guys in that last chance showdown, Tim, running the inside. The top seemed to have came in a little bit there, so but it made it exciting. You saw some sliders down there off of turn number 2, some that resulted in contact, some that resulted in making passes, and man, this one has the makings to be just as exciting with Evan C. and Dylan Yeager, 2 CFM Esports drivers trying to make their way to the top 2. Also teammates up there on the front row, Ducharme and Brown. They're going to be trying to hold those guys off.
You got Evan C. starting in position number 4. To his inside, you got Kenny Hoffman, who hasn't made an A main yet this season in this World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. You got Austin Semmelman at the back of the field trying to do the same thing. You got Sean English, Dylan Yeager, row number 3, 2 drivers that are looking to crack another A main here in this one. This is going to be an exciting last chance showdown, as if the first one didn't bring us enough heat. Final 12 laps of qualifying before we head to tonight's 35-lap A main. Ducharme in control of this field with J.D. Brown to the outside, and there's Ducharme on the hammer. Green flag flies. We are underway in this final last chance showdown, and let's take a look at this battle for position number 2, because J.D. Brown in the 14 to the outside. He's got Kenny Hoffman on his back bumper, and Evan C. to the inside.
Hoffman hits the wall off of turn number 4, going to lose the 3rd spot for a moment to Evan C. Meanwhile, Dylan Yeager did not make the grid, so the 48 car not on the racetrack, so don't worry about him. Evan C. now up into the third spot, got by Hoffman, and now looking to the inside of J.D. Brown for P2. C likes the inside right now, Tim. And we saw, like I talked about just a minute ago, the top seemed to be the place to be in the last chance showdown, but Evan C. going to try and venture to the inside.
And J.D. Brown going to try the top of this one and take it away from Tyler Ducharme. Ducharme's kind of running the middle up in front, but J.D. Brown getting that run off the corner. Going to go back up to the outside. Ducharme changes his line, gets into the wall a little bit in the middle of the corner. The 33 of Evan C. trying to be a part of this battle. J.D. Brown slides it in to the lead, back to the inside. Goes to 25 of Ducharme as they complete one more lap, but J.D. Brown stuck to that outside line trying to make it happen.
Oh, nearly getting together down the back straightaway. Close call right there at the end of the backstretch, entering turn number 3. Now here comes C. Makes it 3 wide for a moment off the corner. They get together. Ducharme and C got together, and there goes all of that ground that Evan C. had just made up. He had to save the car down the front straightaway, but it's not over yet. Still plenty of time. 6 laps in and 6 to go.
Still plenty of time for Evan C. to get up here and make his way into the A main, but Ducharme and Brown want to try to pull away and make it a race of their own. Great run down into the corner for Evan C. as he sees those two battle it out side by side in front of him. They'll combine this time and complete lap number 7. Little contact in behind.
And yeah, Evan C. hit the inside wall right there, and he loses 2 spots down the front straightaway. John Helms is up to 3rd, and now Sean English in 4th. Up front, though, my goodness, J.D. Brown and Tyler Ducharme have been side by side, wing to wing, nerf to nerf, the last at least 4 laps in a row. Brown on the top and Ducharme on the bottom. Good stuff between the teammates at the front of the field. Brown finally clears him down the back straightaway. This time that'll be 3 laps to go here in the last LCS of the night.
You can tell there's a lot of respect between these two as they continue to go side by side and nose to tail as they battle it out for the top 2 spots in this last chance showdown. John Helms sits in position number 3 within striking distance should something happen to these two, but they are putting on quite the show here with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't foresee them doing anything too crazy here to potentially eliminate themselves from a transfer position here. Teammates, and they are veterans of this series. They come across and they see the white flag, 1 to go here in the last chance showdown. The final 2 spots at Lincoln Speedway with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series about to be decided here in the final 2 corners.
J.D. Brown and Tyler Ducharme come off, and they will take the checkered flag. J.D. Brown will win this one over Tyler Ducharme, and those two will find themselves in tonight's A main. John Helms, Sean English, Austin Selman, Evan C., Andrew Heffler, Kenny Hoffman, and I believe Dylan Yeager, a part of that one as well. That will conclude qualifying for round number 4. We've got a 35-lap feature to settle it here at Lincoln Speedway. It's coming up next.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series is brought to you by CarQuest Auto Parts. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Drive like an outlaw. Available now on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5.
Have you been able to get on to World of Outlaws Dirt Racing yet? If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. You can learn everything at worldofoutlaws.com, everything from career mode to multiplayer, multi-series, multi-tracks. You've got a lot to look forward to if you have not picked up the game yet on your Xbox One, Xbox Series X or S, PS4 or PS5, and I can almost guarantee you, Chase, there's going to be a lot of consoles fired up over the holiday season, slinging some dirt with the World of Outlaws Dirt Racing.
Yeah, that might be the most popular Christmas present among racing families here this season under the tree. So World of Outlaws Dirt Racing, make sure you pick that up. If you are a parent watching this and your kid likes to play video games, well, and he likes racing, this is the perfect game to get them. There's just so much content, so much to do, and a lot of time to be spent here on the World of Outlaws Dirt Racing game, which is available now, like you said, on all different platforms. It's going to be a lot of fun when we, when Christmas time comes through and see all the new players getting on board and playing that. So we are ready to go for, it looks like, tonight's A-Main event. 35 laps here from Lincoln Speedway for the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. Take a look at the lineup here. Tim on the pole, going to be car number 86, Timothy Smith, going to be on the pole. And outside of him is the 23 of Kenny Miller. Row number 2 on the inside, the current points leader. It's the number 12 car of Alex Bergeron. And outside of him is the 22 of Bryce Lucius. Row 3, the 00 of Kendall Tucker. And outside of him, it's his teammate, the 52 car of James Edens. Row number 4 on the inside, the 7th starter, the number 85 of Tyler Schell for Elbows Up Simsport. And outside of him is the number 9 of Tanner Miller. Row 5 on the inside, the 13 of Aiden Bierlein, and outside of him is the 51 of Clayton Tilley. Row number 6, 11th starter, the 20 of Aiden Forster, and outside of him is the 17 car of Eric Whitner. Row 7 on the inside, the 13th starter, 24 car of Tanner Pettit. Outside of him is the 07, the winner of the last 2 races with the series. It's Hayden Cardwell from Sevierville, Tennessee. Row number 8 on the inside, the number 4 car of Ross Kaiser, and outside of him is the 16 of Blake Giglio. And then these 4 drivers transferred in through the last chance showdowns. The number 5 of Braden Eiler on the inside of row number 9. Outside of him is the 14 of J.D. Brown. And final 2 starters, the number 1 car of Mason Hannigan and the 25 of Tyler Ducharme. Well, Tim, it's time. We are ready to go. First ever World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series race here from Lincoln Speedway, and it is shaping up to be an exciting one after what we just saw in those prelim events.
Yeah, the heat races almost looked a little bit tame compared to some of those last chance showdowns, but we'll see what happens when 20 cars get on this racetrack and chase you. Look at this racetrack. They had some time, the track crew, to rework this racetrack. The drivers had a very brief hot lap session to kind of work it in, and almost similar to what we saw off the first heat race of the night.
A track with a fresh rework there. The drivers had about 3 minutes or so to do some hot laps and get it burnt in a little bit. You see a little bit of a slick spot developing right there, entering turn number 3. But the beginning of this race is going to be extremely fast. The laps are going to be fast. It's going to be tough to pass early, but about the halfway point is when we'll see it, slick up. And here's where we're at right now, Abbottstown, Pennsylvania. The Pigeon Hills, they call it, here at Lincoln Speedway. And one of the most famous tracks in the state of Pennsylvania. Been around since 1939, hosts weekly 410 sprint car racing, and they always get a good field of cars there. World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series in real life goes there twice next year. Excited to be there on 2 separate occasions in 2023. So this place it's fun. It's a short track. We love short tracks, and so far the drivers have put on a great show, and we expect to see the same thing here for 35 laps.
Temperature looks beautiful, 75 degrees, a small little wind of 4 miles an hour, and track temp is at 60, and you can see all the fans have packed their way into this racetrack. And I think, Chase, if you look close, Nim Cross is already there. I know he's got his tickets already for next summer, but I know he's jacked up after Williams Grove last week on this series. Racing here at Lincoln Speedway, I know he's excited to see another 35 laps.
Oh yeah, Nim Cross, huge sprint car fan, huge PA sprint car fan. Got to meet him, I want to say it was at Port Royal last year when the World of Outlaws were there, and didn't get to talk to him for too much. I was working, I didn't get to say too many words to him, but Nim Cross, I've spoken with him on the phone in the past there, Tim. I when I was like 12 years old, I got in big trouble on iRacing. I crashed a bunch of people and got a phone call from Nib Cross. So that's a story for another day, though. But yeah, Nib Cross, I definitely see him up there in the grandstands taking in tonight's feature action with this World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series.
Field is getting ready to go racing. Timothy Smith has had a great start to this 2022 season. We'll see if he can continue it on. To the outside, Kenny Miller hoping to take some home track advantage and put it into victory lane on round number 4. The World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series, powered by iRacing, is green at Lincoln Speedway as they dive it down into corner number 1. And it's going to be Timothy Smith taking away the advantage. And here comes Alex Bergeron. Bergeron takes second. They all stack up in behind, 2 and 3 wide.
Yeah, good stuff from 4th on back, 3 wide with Tanner Miller, Tyler Schell, and the 51 of Clayton Tilley. They're trying to sort it all out. James Edens right now runs in the 4th position. Your top 5 as they run. It's Timothy Smith, followed by Alex Bergeron. Then it's Kenny Miller, James Edens, Kendall Tucker, but the yellow flag is going to come out. We got car backed in the wall, and it's Eric Whitner, and he is collected with the winner of the last 2 races. Hayden Cardwell gets involved in this one.
So that will slow our field early in this Lincoln Speedway round number 4 feature. And Timothy Smith, Alex Bergeron got it figured out up in front, and then they all kind of stacked up on top of each other in behind as Whitner has come to pit road to get service on his race car after that incident that brought the yellow flag out.
Yeah, Cardwell able to drive away, but he is at the tail end of the field here. Here is the CarQuest replay. There is Eric Whitner right there, running at about maybe the 17th position back there in car number 17. On the outside, trying to get to the middle part of the track there, and just hops a right rear. Maybe that was Clayton Davies. I'm not really sure who that was back there, but then slides up the track. No, that's the 20 car of Aiden Forster right there. Get together, and then here's Cardwell's on board. He literally had nowhere to go. Entered right behind Whitner, and he gets put in the wall.
Wrong place at the wrong time for Hayden Cardwell, and now he's going to have to continue to work from the middle portion of this field. Started in 14th, was up to position number 12 at the time of that yellow flag. So Timothy Smith and Alex Bergeron kind of had it figured out. Kenny Miller and the rest of the field were kind of battling for 4th on back or 3rd on back. James Edens, Kendall Tucker will be in line as we see the green flag come back out. We are back underway here at Lincoln Speedway, and keep your eye on Alex Bergeron and see if he's got anything for Timothy Smith.
Timothy Smith trying to grab his first ever win with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. That would be a huge deal for that young man out of Fulton, Missouri. And right now, he looks to be in great position. 4 laps down and 31 to go. Bergeron runs 2nd, Miller 3rd, Edens 4th, and Kendall Tucker is 5th. But now Tanner Miller goes by on the inside, move Tanner Miller up to 5th.
And we've got a hornet's nest back here. You see Beerline on the outside as the yellow flag will fly once again on the speedway. So the caution flag will slow our field one more time. And it looked like Beerline and a couple of others were trying to get that outside wound up, but not going to be as we slow them down again.
Yeah, a couple cars get together on this one. Looks like Braden Eiler, I think, is one of them. Yes, Tyler Ducharme, Hayden Cardwell is one of them. Maybe Bryce Lucius again. So a pretty big wreck here at the tail end of the field here. We'll have to try and pull up the replay and see what exactly happened here. And right there on your screen, that is Braden Eiler.
And Eiler was so good in that last chance showdown going to the outside line. He's got J.D. Brown in front, and they all stack up in front of them and up the hill and just gets that little bit of contact. Oh, Ducharme and Cardwell nowhere to go on that one. They get into the 5 as you look at it one more time from just up ahead. There's J.D. Brown right in behind, and they're all going to stack up. Everything's going to happen so quickly here. Watch Eiler to the outside. Right there gets that little contact.
And I believe the driver we're riding on board with right there, I don't know who that was, maybe Aiden Forster. I think he hit, no, that's Ross Kaiser. I think he hit the inside wall and came up the racetrack. And that's something that we see quite often here in real life with the sprint cars. The inside wall at Lincoln Speedway, it's so easy to hit it right there because you're down there, you're trying to get all that grip you can. You're trying to stay as close as you can to that guardrail and that left front tire. As soon as it hits, it's going to shoot you right back up into the field. So that's exactly what happened to Ross Kaiser. Causes a big incident. 2 cautions in the first 4 laps. We'll see if we can string some laps together here as we go back to green with 30 laps to go.
And Bergeron already peeking to the inside as he goes back to the outside as they will fan out. Green flag back out onto this speedway. And there's the 23 of Miller trying to make something happen for position number 2.
Yeah, Miller looks good early on. He started on the front row, lost 1 spot, but still a lot of time left here in this one. as Miller runs in third. James Eden still in the fourth position. Then you got Kendall Tucker rounding out the top 5. Good battle behind them as Tyler Schell makes it around Clayton Tilley and now goes to work on the number 9 car of Tanner Miller for the 6th position.
This battle continues on. There's Beerline once again trying to get that outside line to work. He's hopped out to the outside on these last 2 occasions. Tilley down to the inside trying to get by Miller in the 9 as they all battle for positions just outside the top 5. Tyler Schell currently scored in a 6th as they are racing from about 2nd on back here in this one.
Yeah, Kenny Miller looks strong. He's all over Bergeron down into turn number 1. Kenny Miller might be able to put a move on Alex Bergeron here soon as they're riding on board what looks to be the number 9 car of Tanner Miller. He's running right now in the what looks to be the number 9 position. There is Tanner Miller out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Contact for 2nd as Kenny Miller got into the side of Alex Bergeron and takes the 2nd spot away.
And now Bergeron trying to hold on to position number 3. As you see the 20 on your screen of Forster, there is that battle for position. What is now number 3 as here comes James Edens, here comes Kendall Tucker, and they're all trying to pounce on the 12 of Alex Bergeron, who tries to hold on to the final podium position.
Big lead right now for your leader, Timothy Smith. 1 second the last time by over Kenny Miller. Miller, however, ran a faster lap than the 86 car the last time by. Here's James Edens all over the number 12 car of Alex Bergeron into turns 3 and 4. Kendall Tucker right there in the 5th spot as well, but Edens and Bergeron best battle inside the top 10.
Edens trying to get by Bergeron, but I think Bergeron's been able to get his composure back a little bit after that battle with Kenny Miller and keeps Edens behind him and the rest of the field behind him. And the one thing that we're seeing, and I don't want to jinx it, Chase, we saw a little bit of too much of a sense of urgency, I think, out of some of these drivers in the first opening laps. Gone 10 laps on this run, all green.
Yeah, and these guys have definitely gotten into a rhythm. A guy that's in a rhythm right now is your 2nd place car of Kenny Miller, who was tracking down Timothy Smith. We got a crash into turn 1, and it is Tanner Pettit upside down in a huge way. The number 24 car. Caution is out on lap number 15, and Tim, you indeed did jinx it. Yeah. The announcer's jinx.
Yeah, that was all me, and we caught that one live, and it looked like the 24 might have had a little bit of help, got sent around, and got sent into the air after that one, but that was the battle for position number 10, or around position number 10, that broke out and brought us a caution, which will bring us back to green with 20 laps remaining in this one. Tough break for Tanner Pettit in the 24 as he'll head down to the attention of his crew.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. There's Tanner Pettit on the inside coming off of turn number 4. Outside, it looks like it's Mason Hannigan. And then also there is the 14 of J.D. Brown coming down the front stretch now as they head into turn 1. Brown maybe thought that the 24 was going to go to the bottom there maybe, and then was surprised when Pettit went to the top, and J.D. Brown just kind of drove into the back of him, spun him around, collected Hannigan, and big ride for the 24 of Pettit, who made his 2nd feature of the season here tonight. So into the night there for him as he's going to have a lot of damage, as we are looking to go green, I believe, the next time by here. Rundown of the top 10, Timothy Smith, Kenny Miller, Alex Bergeron, James Edens, and Kendall Tucker, the top 5, with Tyler Schell, Aiden Beerline, Clayton Tilley, Aiden Forster, and Ross Kaiser having a good run here tonight. 15th up to 10th for car number 4.
And we are going to get ready to go green with Timothy Smith leading. Let's enjoy some of the sights and sounds of the brand new Lincoln Speedway on iRacing. Let's go full throttle. they were bringing the battle to Timothy Smith on that restart. But Chase, the battle for second continues on. Alex Bergeron trying to find a way around Kenny Miller.
Yeah, good stuff at the front of the field. Timothy Smith hit the wall a few laps ago, and that's what brought these guys right to his rear bumper as they come off of turn number 4. There's going to be 13 laps to go, and this race is far from over. Timothy Smith on the inside of turn number 2, Kenny Miller on the outside, and they are separated by 3 car lengths down the back straightaway.
Kenny Smith holding on to position number 2 and trying to mount a charge for Timothy Smith. You look back from the 86, you see Alex Bergeron trying to hold off James Edens. Edens trying to run to the inside to try to make it happen for third.
And it looks like Timothy Smith has now changed his line. He goes up to the top to protect in 3 and 4. That's the line that Kenny Miller was running, but Miller goes back to the top in 1 and 2. Smith goes to the bottom. James Edens pokes his nose underneath Alex Bergeron for third, but can't make the pass. A lap car up the road here. This could play a factor in this one, as I think that is the number 1 of Mason Hannigan that will go a lap down by the end of this race.
Timothy Smith continues to lead this one. Kenny Miller in second, looking to make something happen. Goes to the outside. There's the battle for position number 3. James Edens was able to get right with Alex Bergeron prior to that yellow after Bergeron had his moment with Kenny Miller, and then you see this pack in the middle. This is far from over. That's Tyler Schell in the middle. J.D. Brown, a beer line. This is around 7th, 8th place.
Yeah, good stuff back there for mid-pack, but it looks like we have a change for the lead, I think. Kenny Miller to the outside, side by side into turns 3 and 4 for the top spot, and Miller's going to shoot around on the outside. Kenny Miller leads lap number 28.
So you get a guy with a little home track advantage on the outside, gets into the wall a little bit with that right rear. You get the 86 of Timothy Smith, who has run strong every single race so far this season and has led a ton of laps here in this one, trying to hold off the 23. Oh, by the way, don't count out Alex Bergeron yet. Bergeron sits in position number 3. Freeway dance for the lead, and Kenny Miller drives off with the lead.
Yeah, Bergeron makes a 3-car battle up front, and Timothy Smith not out of this thing quite yet. He's still going to try and marry that inside of the racetrack there as he looks underneath him. Miller gets alongside of him, but Miller has the momentum down the back straightaway. Here's Bergeron on board with him, trying to get by the 86 of Timothy Smith. Now to the inside, Alex Bergeron takes the second spot across the line. 4 laps to go, 5 to go, I should say, for Bergeron, and he is catching up to Kenny Miller for the race lead.
Smooth as glass for Alex Bergeron, but Timothy Smith will not leave him alone for that position as they come across the line and complete one more. 31 laps completed, 4 laps remaining in this one, and as they battle for second, James Edens beginning to reel them in.
Great stuff at the front of the field here in the Pigeon Hills, Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, the Lincoln Speedway, the first ever race here with World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. Alex Bergeron 2 car lengths behind Kenny Miller, who's trying to win his first ever World of Outlaws race here on iRacing and do it at one of his home tracks in real life. What a moment that would be for the 23 car if he can hold on for another a lap and a half. And here comes Bergeron down the back straightaway. It's not over yet. We're coming to the white flag this time by Tim.
Bergeron trying to make it happen. Smith right in behind. Edens behind them, battling for a podium position. A final lap contact, and behind for second. It's all behind Kenny Miller as Miller will go through corners number 3 and 4 and collect his first World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series win. See the smile on his face, the jubilation. He is a winner in this series. Behind them, Chase, this was a mess.
Oh my goodness, huge championship implications in this one. Alex Bergeron falls to 12th on the finishing order right there. Timothy Smith 13th. This is going to open the door for a couple of guys as Kenny Miller burns it down in turn 4, flips the car over as he is extremely excited. A win worth $300, but my goodness, do these results get tangled up there on that last lap, Tim?
Where did Clayton Tilley come from? Tilley goes from 10th on the starting grid and far from the podium to 3rd at the end of that one. Kendall Tucker comes home with 2nd. Tyler Schell, Aiden Beerline. That was a battle for 7th in the last couple of laps. That'll come home 4th and 5th. Aiden Forster, J.D. Brown, Eric Whitner, Ross Kaiser, and Tanner Miller, your top 10. Blake Giglio in position number 11. Alex Bergeron in 12th. Timothy Smith 13th. James Edens in 14th, Mason Hannigan 16th, Tanner Pettit 17th, Tyler Ducharme in 18th. Hayden Cardwell in 19th after having all his struggles at the start. And Braden Eiler completes your field. And Bryce Lucius was the driver that we were missing there in position number 15. Had some problems off the start after starting in position number 4 here this evening. But Kenny Miller, the winner here this evening, and as he was coming down through 3 and 4, I had my eye on that mess back there as well. It turned the last couple of laps on its head.
Well, let's take a look at what happened here on the final lap, Tim, as Alex Bergeron gets turned around, I believe, by the 52, the 86 of Timothy Smith, I should say. They go into turn number 1, and Smith just misjudged it there, turns the 12 around, and right here gets upside down. James even stuck on the outside wall there. Smith able to drive away, and here's a look at it from way behind here with our 4th place car of Kendall Tucker at the time. He's able to avoid all that mess and go from 5th to 2nd, but that is huge right there as Bergeron slips way down the running order, and that's really going to shake up the point standings here.
Indeed it is, but one driver that is happy is our winner, Kenny Miller. I believe you've caught up with him.
Yeah, Kenny, nice job tonight, my friend, getting the win tonight at none other than Lincoln Speedway, a place that you've ran in real life on a couple of different occasions. Congrats, man. That was an exciting one. You had to battle with Alex, had to battle with Timothy as well, and you finally get your first ever win in your rookie season.
Yeah, that was great. My heart's pounded right now. I can't believe it. If you watch me in real life, I usually roll around the bottom, but tonight I was banging the boards down, so it's cool to get a win in my rookie season, but like I said, I was so nervous those last couple laps. I was trying to not make any mistakes, especially with Alex right behind me, but I saw something happen in turn 1, and I saw it was all clear down the backstretch, so I was already starting to celebrate. I couldn't believe it.
Definitely a really cool deal here. We always love to see first-time winners, but tell us about the track here tonight because, this place only came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. These guys don't have, you guys, I should say, the pro drivers don't have as many laps as you do at, say, a Volusia or a Williams Grove or things like that. What was it like here tonight to race at a place where nobody has it absolutely mastered quite yet?
Yeah, it's super cool. It's nice when we go to places like this that are new and super technical. I feel like that's kind of where I shine. With some of the slower speeds and kind of the more trickier tracks, but it's certainly cool that I ran here in real life. They pretty much nailed it right on with all the different elevation changes. So yeah, it's cool that they keep adding tracks like this that are in PA and that I've run before in real life.
Well, Kenny, congrats on the win here tonight, my friend. Next week, heading to Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. Maybe we'll be talking to you again there.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we can keep the momentum rolling. I just got to thank everybody at Fan Motorsports, 129 Racing, M9 Setups, Velocity Race Design, Michael Sportswear, Ken Cycle Repair, Trevor, Chris, all the guys over there building setups and kind of laps together. It's certainly paying off, and I think we've got some good speed between myself and Tim and Blake.
Well, how about it? Kenny Miller gets his first career win with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series here tonight. Our second place finisher, well, Kendall Tucker with a P2. Kendall, you're running 5th on the last lap coming to the white flag. James Edens, Alex Bergeron, Timothy Smith all get into each other. You come out smelling like a rose and end up with a podium finish. Nice job.
Yeah, definitely feels good to have a little look on our side there and catch a pretty good break there. It's definitely the best break I've caught in a pro series here in a really long while. So, it feels good to, be able to get a second here tonight. Really had a good car there most of the race, just made one stupid mistake and cost me a lot of time there with probably 10 to go. And really just lost everything I had, right there with the top 4. But luckily caught a break there at the end and was able to bring home a second.
Well, something interesting this season here in 2022/23, 2 races in a row with a first-time track with this series. Tonight, obviously, Lincoln Speedway. Next week, I-55 Raceway. What are you expecting to see out of that track? Because we've seen what it does in real life, and it's easily the most exciting track we go to on the schedule every year in real life. Are you expecting kind of the same next week for this virtual series as well?
Yeah, definitely. I really expect an exciting race at I-55 next week. I haven't ran a lot of laps there, just like I hadn't in a 410, here at Lincoln until today, really, and was able to get home, at a decent time today and get enough laps in, to have, pretty good pace there, with most other guys there in the feature, so hats off to all my guys at Swindell and Slick, for giving me a fast pace week in and week out, and hopefully, we can just continue this momentum we got next week.
All right, Kendall Tucker finishing up in P2 here tonight. And how about Clayton Tilley on the podium here? And Clayton, I believe it's like 10 a.m. maybe or something tomorrow for us here in America, but an early morning for you. And it starts off on a good note. Hopefully, whatever you're doing for the rest of the day is good, because you just finished third with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. And Clayton, if we get you to tilt your camera down a little bit and then tell us about the race, man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, quite unexpected, to be honest. I was just putting around in 5th, 6th, wherever I was, and was quite content to just get some points in the bank. And the door opened when 3 of them took each other out on the last lap there, and we snuck on through, and here we are.
How awesome is it to finally get a podium with the series? You were running with us last year in 2021 with the Pro Series, and to run all those laps, run all those races. What's it like? How gratifying is it to finally get this podium?
We just had a hell of a year last year. Just everything went wrong. So to be able to come out in the first 4 rounds and show that we do have some pace and we are able to compete is a good thing. We're not quite a podium car yet, at least not in my opinion, but we're slowly moving towards that. And as we get to the better tracks towards the end of the season, we should be a bit more competitive.
You put Australia back on the podium with the World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series. Nice job tonight.
Thanks, mate.
All right, Clayton Tilley with a P3 here this evening. A great run for that driver. And, well, Tim, there it is right there. I-55 Raceway located in Peevely, Missouri. Looks a little bit similar to what we saw here tonight at Lincoln. A short track. Things happen quickly. We've seen 9-second lap times in real life here at this place. The action is very high here at this place. I can vouch for myself, been there on multiple occasions, and very excited to see what it does here in the sim.
And I'm sure, like everything that happened tonight, it's going to happen really quickly. That's December 26th, next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, I-55 Raceway. And after that one, we will be crossing the halfway point, hard to believe, in this 2022 World of Outlaws CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Series, powered by iRacing. Lincoln Speedway lived up to its expectations. Congratulations to Kenny Miller on his first win in the series. On behalf of our entire iRacing crew, Chase Rodman, my name is Tim Terry. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll see you December 26th when we say let's go racing from I-55 Raceway. Until then, keep the hammer down and we'll see you at the track.